Are you losing track of network details and topology? I'm Ralph Langner, and in this video I'll show you how to regain control. Dozens or hundreds of process networks with thousands of endpoints are nothing special in today's digital OT environments. If you're like most asset owners, you try to inventory all these devices using Microsoft Excel, and that is a recipe for failure. First, there is no way that you can store all the IP addresses, firmware versions, interface status, connectivity information, network topology in a two-dimensional table. And second, Excel assumes that you're manually gathering and updating all the configuration data. This process alone is so laborsome that Excel might just be the most expensive tool on your plant floor. Our solution for this problem is the OT-based asset management platform. Let's see how it works. OT-based is a software-only product that consists of two distinct modules. The OT-based Asset Center is the central server process which contains the database where all the configuration data of your OT devices is consolidated. That data is gathered automatically by the OT-based Asset Discovery software that is installed in your process networks. You can, if you want to, install an Asset Discovery node in every single subnet, and that wouldn't even affect license costs, but you don't have to because Asset Discovery also supports routing. What you see here is the configuration interface for OT-based Asset Discovery. The core process itself runs as a Windows service in the background so that it executes automatically even when you're not logged on. However, at some point in time you gotta configure this service, and this is what this application is for. It also shows you right away the accuracy of your discovery results. Let's select the network and then click on the settings in order to configure this network. In the right pane of the dialog, I can enable or disable various protocols for probing. For our example, since we are mostly interested in discovering network devices, what we're going to do is first we enable ARP, the Address Resolution Protocol, by just clicking that box right here. ARP will discover all the IP addresses on this network segment. I could limit the rate if I wanted to, if I should be concerned about flooding the network with traffic. In our example, we just leave it as it is. And then we also select the SNMP protocol, which is the Simple Network Management Protocol, and that protocol will give us all the information we're interested in respect to our network gear, including things like the installed firmware and information about the installed network interfaces. So that's it, and with that information being specified, we can save the configuration. Now the next thing that we do in order to check our configuration is to simply click on Probe. In the table on the left you can see how the devices that are discovered are being added and updated. So now our discovery process is finished, and this is the output list. As you can see, we have discovered 6 SNMP devices, 6 layer 2 switches, and 3 additional devices where we don't get much information about. In production use, this discovery process would take place in the background, and you wouldn't sit in front of a monitor and monitor progress, because at the end of the day everything will be transmitted to Asset Center, which we'll talk about later. But first, let's check out these results. In order to get additional details, I just need to click on a given entry, and then in the right pane you see I get some device details. Let's just walk through those devices by just using the arrow keys. So you can even get additional detail when you use that drop-down menu. For example, if I click on software, I see the firmware version of that particular device. And if I click on connections, I see all the interfaces of this particular switch along with its current operational state. Let's see what this information looks like after data export to OT-based Asset Center. So what you see here is the device inventory that we have filtered for our little test network. And the device that we have just recently looked at in Asset Discovery is this switch right here. In order to see all the details for this particular switch, we just need to click on Profile. So let's check the results. What we see here is the connectivity table where you see all the network interfaces of that switch listed along with their MAC addresses, port number, media type, operational state, the transmission speed. And most importantly, you also see the devices that are connected to that switch, something that you didn't see in Asset Discovery. And this is where the consolidation comes in. That takes place when all the various Asset Discovery data is imported into OT-based Asset Center. So Asset Center knows that this particular RTU, for example, is connected to that particular port on our switch, port number 3. That information was not provided manually, that was discovered automatically. In order to get even further information about that RTU, all I need to do is just click on that link, and then I get the device profile for this particular RTU. What we see down here is a limited network diagram, which shows you only the direct neighbors of this switch. And it also shows you by this thick line that this is a fiber optics connection, where the other connections are copper connections. If you need a more comprehensive network diagram for the whole network, you can also get that from OT-base. If you go to the network section in the inventory, select the network that you're interested in, and then click on Profile. And the profile contains a network diagram that has been produced with OT-base. So OT-base provided all the connections between the devices along with all the descriptions and metadata. The only thing that the user has added was to arrange the various devices in a way that makes sense for the user. You can always get more detail on any device. You can navigate your inventory by just clicking on any of those links. So for example, if I wanted to check that particular endpoint in that network, I just click on the link and then I'm taken to the device profile of that device. You can check out the Asset Discovery component of OT-base for free if you just go to our website langner.com and go to the download area, where you can download an evaluation version of OT-based Asset Discovery. If you just fill in the personal information, your corporate email address, etc., and then click on download.